Alrighty then, it's time for a jungle Kennen game. Let's get the show on the road. This one, and you guys know, even though I play mostly jungle, I do have several laners I like to pick. And unfortunately, a lot of those laners aren't really functional anymore. Riot has either nerfed the game around them, or they just kind of fell off the wayside. Kennen fell off the wayside 2 seasons ago, yet I'm still going to play him because even if I suck at this, or if I don't have that many choices, I can at least rely on him to be a CC bot. Now, about last season is when I realized that jungle or lane Kennen just isn't very good anymore. When I was having to fight a bunch of Malzahars and they made my life sad in mid lane. In top lane, when I fought Darius, who could literally just run at me, no matter how many times I poked him or chain CC'd him, and he would annihilate me, and I wouldn't have barely even tickled his dick, so... yeah, sad days ahead. The only reason I'm getting far against this Mordekaiser is because he's getting a little too brave. He could have, avoided taking so much damage, but he just keeps eating that damage. Anyhow, they've taken away a lot of my laners, and a lot of the ones that are still technically functional don't work as well anymore because their opponents now have like infinite sustain. They have a lot of pushing potential, and it punishes them, or just generally everyone's become tankier. Like, I tried picking Garen the other day, and I really couldn't do anything, and it was kind of sad. Like, no matter how many times the enemy, blundered into me and got really hurt, they just kind of stood back and healed up for near full real quickly. So, sad days ahead for my laning. But still, at the very least, Kennen survives, and champions like Kennen don't really matter how well you do in lane, because as long as you're still a CC bot later on, you can still function. Yay! If I had picked like a carry, then I would be in some serious problems. But, well, that's just the state of laning for a lot of champions, right? Or for me. No, I'll just talk about a little bit of... I use this video because, like I always say, in my laning videos, the early game is always usually the same thing. You farm up a bit, or in my case, fail to farm up a bit because I suck at farming nowadays. And, then mid-game is when things actually happen. So, a long time ago, I used to primarily be a mid laner. Yeah, surprise, surprise, right? And I didn't jungle. I made my friend do that because I learned how to jungle with a few champions, but he wanted to play Fiddlesticks so badly, and lane Fiddlesticks back then was really bad. So I just made him jungle Fiddlesticks, and I took care of the lane as most other champions, and that was kind of fine. And mostly I was mid laner playing champions like Veigar. Yeah, I know Veigar in mid lane wasn't a thing back then either. I would play in mid lane or top lane, and if I played any 80 carries, it would mostly just be... Don't hate me for this, but Ezreal. But I still hate him now, so just shut up. But, and then eventually, I just primarily started jungle when he decided to quit the game. And he quit very early, so, I don't have to worry about that ever again. Anyways, I actually did managed to have a repertoire of champions in all lanes, and eventually you can sort of pinpoint the time where I decided to stop updating those laner lists. My mid lane go-to mages were Brand and Malzahar, and my bottom lane was usually just old Graves, may he rest in peace forever, and Varus. And you might actually still go through my YouTube channel and find the games where I play Varus and Graves. Top lane were champions like Garen. Kennen came actually way later. Garen, they were Mordekaiser. They were Nunu, the evilness that was Nunu, and I would play them. But then eventually I just stopped ever being put into top lane, or if I ever did, I just relied back on, good old Garen or Kennen, and never had to deal with, learning anybody new. And that kind of bit me in the ass, because in this, if I'm ever forced into a lane, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, or who would be good against what. So, yeah. Also, I would play Jarvan top lane, but as far as the season goes, lane Jarvan has basically been put into a grave, so that's kind of sad for me. And those nerfs that they did to try to nerf his jungle were absolutely pointless, and they just hurt his lane. Nonetheless, you can see my team's laning phase is going rather well. Our jungler is just, farming up rather good. He's going to be Rost, and as a result, we're going to be basically CC composition, which is really good with the Twitch. Look at the amount of crowd control my team has. It is goofy. The enemy team, if they blunder together, like they initiate on somebody they shouldn't be initiating, and end up clustering up together and, getting eaten by crowd control, is going to result in absolute pain. The camera fucks up a little bit. And, it's like here, I just teleport in, easily kill Warwick, in comes Galio slamming into the ground, and we see Mordekaiser before he gets to use the plan, and he gets taken down. And then... I kind of guess kill steal, although it's better for me to get the kill than these other two guys because, Pikachu power. Either way, as you can see, that's kind of what's going to happen this game. The enemy team is not respecting their crowd control. But what can they do? They should, first of all, they need to buy like magic resistance or some sort of MR. And maybe even buy a Banshee's Veil for some of them. Like, you know, the Mordekaiser should. And then hopefully they buy some CC reduction or CC, you know, cleansing. Because right now, they're going to get destroyed. In fact, I know the Ignite is all good and all, but I felt like some of them might have needed cleanse. Because look at my composition. It is so deadly with crowd control. It's overloaded. This is like the classic Season 2, Season 3 kind of composition, right? But anyways, like Leona goes in, you know, tries to get in somebody. I go in too, and I grab mostly only Braum, and the Vayne gets scattered off. And this is where our initiations can go really badly if we don't get the right targets, or if we are you know, CC focusing somebody else. So in that case, we got punished, and that's not muy bueno. But still, though, as you can see, even though my CS isn't the worst, but it isn't that good. Even though my CS could have been better, I can still function rather well. You know, I got once you get your hourglasses Kennen, or in the case of a bunch of other champions, when you get certain key items, you don't really matter what else you're doing. Just, you know, click a few buttons and you're effective. Anyways, the enemy team is, their farm is far better, but their Vayne is basically starved and basically punished. So without their Vayne, they're pretty much at a huge loss at this point. You know, she can do some damage, but she'll never get through any of her fatties in time before she gets picked off. Unless, again, we position ourselves super poorly. The next item I'm going for is that Hex Tech thing, you know, that Blast You Forward, the one that a lot of people feel Riot should have never really added because it allows a lot of shenanigans to go on. But I love it because the champions I pick are CC machines, and being able to just inch my way a little bit closer is pretty good. They make some weird attempt to try to steal Dragon, but it doesn't amount to very much. Here, Braum is trying to ward something, but, you know, just kind of trying to poke him away. Go away, Braum. And then Talon comes in, and he's going to dash with everything, but he kind of forgets that I have my Hourglass, and I pop my ultimate. So he gets changed CC to hell and dies for... He doesn't die for free, takes my ultimate, but he needlessly died. Even if, you know, even if he did get the kill on me, he probably would have died right after, so that was a completely pointless thing that Talon did. But, you know, that's what you get for playing carries. As a result, most of his team loses a bunch of their summoner spells because they have to blitz away to escape. So that's muy malo for them. And they didn't even get anything out of it. They lose a tower. My teammates, you know, go in there for a... They burn a lot of CC on one of their tankiest targets, but they get him down. Then they get a little too gung-ho with pushing under the tower. They get CC down, and they get revenge killed. So, you know, let that be a lesson to you. Just because you won one team fight using all your abilities as a CC team doesn't necessarily mean you have the ability to win all the others. Yeah, remember... If your team relies on long cooldowns and you burn those cooldowns and the fight's not even over, you're probably going to lose in the next couple seconds. Anyways, Braum gets caught out, gets a little bit free. They got the Rift Herald, and we go chasing a little bit. But here's what I mean. We burned more of our long cooldowns in this weird little chase. So now we should probably be backing off. Me, I get to do a little bit poking if I want to, and I can escape rather easily. So I get to be in the sidelines and play a little bit more recklessly. Anyways... Like I said, CC team versus, well, whatever team comp they have. Their comp is really bad. I try to escape a little. I use my E for that, so that means I can't really initiate. And I just sort of watch this next little scene. So, Kayn gets caught by the enemy team, and so he tries to escape through the wall. And then they all do what you shouldn't do against a CT team. They clump up. So they get Pikachu down. Galio comes in with his Galio Superman slam down. And they're all in a straight line against the Twitch. Great move, guys. It's like this, and they also went towards Kayn. You know, they were trying to get another tanky champion and line themselves up for him, and they got destroyed. You know, it's just kind of weird or kind of sad. I don't know. A lot of players in League of Legends don't think things through, and that was one of those moments where they should probably thought things through, because otherwise it got them all killed. Then my team, you know, overstayed their welcome, and 3 of them get killed. So whatever, victory didn't matter. By the way, that little chain CC moment, you know what they actually said at the end of that? Good job, Kayn. Yeah, good job, Kayn. Let me just flip my desk over, right? Ha. Still, though, the enemy team is still in there because we seemingly fight every fight really badly. I go in there, and they just kind of let the Vayne be in the worst spot imaginable. And they lost 3 people as a result. So their Baron was absolutely pointless. Like... You know, you would have figured that somebody would have, you know, been a watchman. or somebody would have been, you know, protecting the Vayne. But no, just let her die. I know she's really weak and has no kills and anything, but you know, she kind of is your only hope at winning this game, because Talon can only kill the Twitch before he gets absolutely chain CC down and murdered. But hey, poor decision is the game. League of poor decisions. But anyways, 1 minute left in, where the enemy team might have Baron, but they can't really amount to very much. I'm just waiting here for the right scene to get at least 3 people, and then hopefully my Galio responds with a slam dunk, and then Leona comes in and kills somebody else. That's the goal at the very least. But, you know, solo queue. By the way, poking at people, or at least trying to poke at people, catching somebody, and when that ends up being the Warwick, just poke him a little bit, dodge the very predictable Braum ultimate. I love doing that. I love going in there, hitting somebody, and then backing off, thinking that I'm going to overcommit. Warwick gets caught again, in comes my ultimate, and I managed to catch, you know, 3 people. Not the best targets, but once her front line is destroyed, there's nothing that Vayne can do about surviving against Kayn, so yay. I mean, I get destroyed by the Talon, which results in him getting absolutely gangblasted, so there you go, hooray, we win. CC machine. And I know, Kennen video, why Stonewall? Well, this one actually got the most votes for the Facebook fan page voting. And also, I kind of wanted to make a video sort of alluding to why I kind of dodge a lot now if I ever get top lane or anything. I just can't do top lane anymore. It's so painful. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos, because YouTube and stuff.